Okay, it's KFC here. It's Saturday, December 30th. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. The temperature outside is a nice balmy 20 degrees, and inside here it's only about 40. I got both heaters running flat out just to keep things warm enough to work in here. Hopefully that'll warm up a little bit this afternoon. Today we're working on the 737 airliner speed build. This is the modified 737 that I drew up to sort of replicate the Tony Stark's personal 737 in the movie Iron Man. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If not, watch it. It's a good movie. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to build this whole thing in 3 days. Today, tomorrow, and New Year's. And hopefully I'll have the whole thing flying. I've got everything drawn up. I've got the files ready to go. I'm ready to cut here on the CNC machine over here. So I'm hoping that I can get the cutting and the prep work for assembly done today. I may even actually be able to assemble some of the larger sections. Tomorrow we're going to do the main assembly. Sunday we'll install electronics and do the final prep. So if everything goes well, we'll have this done in 3 days. It may not be super pretty, but it ought to be okay. Of course, not everything goes according to plan, and that's, we'll have to see how that works out. But I'm going to be posting 3 videos on the build, and each video is going to be 1 day worth of work. And it's all going to be time-lapse, so you'll just see me zipping around. You see the whole thing kind of taking shape without it taking forever. So without further ado, here we go. Okay, so we have all the parts cut out, and everything went fine. There's actually one component that didn't get cut out properly, so I'll have to fix that later. And I still have a couple of more pieces that are going to have to be cut out later, but I have to assemble things first to take some measurements before I can actually cut those parts. So that'll probably happen Sunday when I'm finishing things up. So right now what I have are the 6 sheets worth of parts, and I need to go ahead and number them and make the alignment marks I need on them so that when I start assembling this stuff, everything fits together correctly. So I need to do this before I cut the parts out, because the parts themselves are aligned with the straight edges of the foam. So I'm going to go ahead and quick do that, and then we'll go to the next part. Alright, so now that we've got all our parts cut, we need to go and clean up the edges, and then I'll go ahead and I need to cut the notch here on the leading edge, and then sand down the trailing edge on all the wing parts, and so on and so forth. So we'll go ahead and get working on that. And once that's done, we can start the basic assembly, and I'll start with the nose, and we'll work our way through to the tail, and then we'll figure out which parts I may have to recut a couple parts, and I may have to cut a couple new parts. So we'll see how that works. So assembly is going to start today, and it's going to continue into tomorrow, and we'll see how far I get. All right, so right here is where I'm going to leave it for tonight. We've got a fair number of the fuselage pieces ready to go. What I need to do now is I need to print out some of the templates I'm going to need to mark the wing fairing, where the wing attaches to the wing fairing, ailerons, elevator, that kind of thing, that I have to actually mark on the parts. So I'm going to go ahead and print those out tonight, and I'm going to actually recut a couple of the bulkheads tomorrow because there were a couple of them that didn't fit exactly the way I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and recut them, and then we'll try it again tomorrow because they're either just a little bit too big or a little bit too small. So tomorrow we will continue the assembly and hopefully get the wings done, the fuselage finished, and with luck we'll get to the tail, which is going to be the really complicated part. So day one, we're in good shape, and more to come tomorrow.